Okay, so riddle me this. Who is long and blonde and lives in a massive mansion in Calabasas with several dogs, who just posted a video today with a fake butt and a fake attitude to match? Anyone? No? No, we're not talking about Khloe Kardashian. We're talking about Jeffree Star, and he uploaded a video today that honestly, I don't even know if it's worth discussing, but here we are. So let's get straight into it after this intro.
Petty. Most of these bitches is petty.
After what appears to have been the most boring Dramageddon in the history of Dramageddons, just when we thought everything had died down, just when we thought that the internet would be finally rid of Jeffree Star, he comes back with a vengeance to make a video that he titled Doing What Is Right. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've only watched through this video one time on double speed, so I just don't think I've had enough time to formulate the most strongest opinion ever, but I do want to give you guys my initial thoughts. These thoughts may be subject to change, just so you're aware. But initially, before we actually get started, I actually genuinely thought that Jeffree Star wouldn't come back. I thought that we would be in a situation where he would just leave the internet forever. He is a millionaire tycoon at this point. He really doesn't need YouTube. YouTube satisfies his fame hungry side of him, and possibly his love and passion for makeup itself. But besides that, financially, it's a few coins in the bank. It's pocket change to him. He spends a YouTube video check on his hair. It's not important to him. But it seems like, wanting to be in the public eye and wanting to be seen and wanting to fully be the face of his brand is very important to him, because I didn't think he'd come back, that it was not necessary for him to come back, but here we are. He came back in a video moments ago titled Doing What Is Right, sat in possibly one of the most disgusting sofas I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Don't get me wrong, I love a crushed velvet moment. My crushed velvet sofa sits proudly in my living room, but it's silver. This is some sick vomit color, and honestly, it's just gonna be a symbol of what is to come. Anyway, before we get into it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, as well as hitting the notification bell. Also, you can hit that like if you like this video, or you can hit the dislike if you don't like this video. It's all engagement. And also, please do not forget to follow me on Twitch. That is www.twitch.tv/PaigeChristieUK, and that is where you can find me doing my commentary uncensored, because YouTube don't want to talk about their golden children. With that being said, let's get into it. So one of the first things that Jeffree Star discusses is why he has been silent for so long. He basically states that he's been silent because he wants to kind of take time to process, articulate his feelings, and basically not fly off the handle, which is something that we have seen systematically from Jeffree Star, is that he will go onto the internet and scream at somebody, be it a customer, a fan, whatever it is, rather than just taking a few moments, stepping back and walking away.
Now, I've been silent for a very long time. I know that's very rare for me. I've taken a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection. Now, in the past, I've been very guilty of speaking out of anger, out of frustration, out of my emotions. I'm so quick to grab my phone and just say whatever is on my mind in that moment without ever really thinking the ramifications of my words, my actions, and for the first time in a very long time, I'm really reflecting on my behavior and mine alone. And I've come to a lot of realizations, and it's been really important to actually understand everything that I was a part of, that I did wrong, and really start a new chapter for myself.
He states he has been taking some time to realize some stuff.
I've spent a lot of time realizing why I do certain things and why I do the things that I do.
And I feel like this year is really about the year of just realizing stuff, and everyone around me, we're all just realizing things.
Honestly, what is it with rich people and realizing things? Anywho, Jeffree Star then goes on to say that he did mean what he said in his 2019 video, never doing this again. It's just that he has slipped up and got himself involved in drama yet again.
2020 has been really crazy, and I have added to the chaos. When I filmed my video called Never Doing It Again, I meant every word in the video. Did I slip up? Am I human? Have I done some fucked up things? Of course I have.
Now I have to agree with this somewhat, is that a lot of people expect that change is something that happens instantaneously. That personal growth isn't something that is an actual journey rather than something that happens overnight. You can't expect people to change overnight. People are going to make slip-ups. But at the same time, his slip-up seemed like he was really just sharing and distributing other people's trauma for his own gain, and I don't know what kind of slip up that is. That's just my 2 cents.
Today, once again, I will not be exposing anyone. For everyone saying Jeffree's gonna be coming with the receipts and we all need to get ready to forgive, that is the opposite of who I am.
Okay, so I truly believe in this section of the video that Jeffree Star was directly referencing Tati Westbrook, because in her video, Breaking My Silence, she actually did allude to the notion that Jeffree Star may have blackmail material on various different people within the YouTube community, as well as brand owners, hence why a lot of people aren't speaking out against Jeffree Star.
As a result, I usually would take his snarky statements about others with a grain of salt. One thing that he did that did concern me a lot was how he would frequently comment about how much dirt he held on other brand owners and members of our YouTube community. I believe that he actually held blackmail material on many people and was capable of destroying the entire community. This worried me about him, and I stayed and I tried my best to be a positive influence. My opinion, he's gonna go off, guys, and I don't think anyone, I don't think he will hold back, and I think we need to be prepared to understand that we need to forgive the people that he is holding hostage with veiled threats of exposure. We need to be prepared to forgive them. Otherwise, this won't stop. So prepare to not cancel everyone and give them a chance. It's not right. It is not right to try to trap people into saying things that they wouldn't otherwise say. It's not right.
Jeffree actually takes this one step further, where he actually states that he's not going to be directly responding to the situation right now, and that his attorneys will behind the scenes. He also states that he doesn't hold blackmail material. Take a listen.
I know I'm dramatic, I'm crazy at times, I'm outspoken, but at the end of the day, that is not who I am. And today I will not be sitting here showing a million text messages and all these things that allegedly are out there. That's not it. I will not be entertaining it. My lawyers are entertaining it behind the scenes, but I will not be.
He then continues to go on about having to find himself and realizing things.
Like the year of just realizing stuff.
And doing some soul searching, yada yada yada. And then he goes and says that a lot of the things that are being said about him is false and that he's not actually the villain in this situation.
I know there's a lot of people waiting for me to address the situation. Now, I didn't try to take anyone down. I'm not a villain in a movie. This isn't a Netflix series with a crazy storyline. I know it sounds like it, and trust me, I'm sure I would watch it as well, but this is my real life, and a lot of things that are happening and being said are false. When someone else tries to take someone else down or their career and it doesn't work, you can't just take a few more down with you. That's not how life works. We have to all take accountability for our own actions and no one else's. And that's what I will continue to do. And if I don't, please remind me.
This is just my 2 cents on this situation. Who am I? I ain't nobody but a bitch from England. But I think he was basically trying to say that everybody played their own part. Everybody had an involvement, from Tati to Shane, and that they all need to own their own part in the entire situation instead of trying to blame everybody else and still try and remain the victim, which I genuinely believe. I believe that Tati's hands is just as dirty as everybody else's, and she just wants to display her victim tears and hopes that people will see her as a victim, and I'm not buying it.
Now, I know that I've had a very hard time doing that in the past, and that will not be happening again.
I hear he's talking about his involvement in drama and that he himself is never going to do this again. This is the problem that we had with 2019's video of never doing this again, is because it is almost inevitable that you will do something like this again, because change is a process. It's not something that can happen overnight. Toxic behavior, regardless of who you are, whether it's generational racism, whether it's covert or overt racism, no matter what it is, you kind of have to take time to understand it, to learn, to grow, and you're gonna make slip-ups. You're gonna not assess your privilege properly. You're gonna talk badly to people. You're gonna do all of those things, but it's important that you acknowledge when you do these things that you're trying your best to grow. Don't say you're never gonna do it again, because you're setting yourself up to fail. Because guess what? When people go back, people are gonna go back to 2019 and then this video and say, Jeffree, didn't you say you weren't gonna do this again?
I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions. If I was really close with someone, I should have had the ability to just simply call them and ask and say, hey, these were the things that were being said to me. Instead, I didn't. I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things and I got caught up in the hype.
Okay, so now Jeffree's going back on what it is that he said in Mom's basement when he was like, well, I can show you the audio and then you tell me if this was something that you wouldn't take seriously and if you wouldn't have tweeted the same thing that I tweeted.
So if you want, we can pause and I can go in another room and play Banks what I have on my phone, and he can determine if he would have sent the same tweet.
In the Mom's Basement podcast, they asked him straight up if he lied about the situation. And that's what he said in order to try and prove his innocence. So did you lie about the situation or did you not? Was there some element of truth to what it is that you were discussing in regards to James Charles? Is there an element of truth to the fact that he may be a because Blair White seems to think so.
If I receive credible information that a very famous, very powerful YouTuber is a or but am I complicit with helping cover up for a by not saying that at least that much is true? That's the battle that's been going on in my head.
And Tati says that it was incriminating but not enough to go to the police with. So what's the sitch? He then goes on to further apologise to James Charles for the words that he said.
So James, I am truly sorry for my actions and my behavior.
Jeffree then goes on to say some fighting words, or what I'm believing to be fighting words, towards Tati Westbrook. He basically says a lot of the things that she alleged of him did not happen. Here are the things that she alleged of Jeffree Star.
One thing that he did that did concern me a lot was how he would frequently comment about how much dirt he held on other brand owners and members of our YouTube community. I believe that he actually held blackmail material on many people and was capable of destroying the entire community.
So I'm not going to give you an expose of the beauty community. I'm not going to end anyone today. I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I've never committed a crime before, and I've never been to jail. It's been hard to process a lot of what is being said, but involving the situation, I would just like to say that James Charles, I'm very sorry.
So from my perspective, and y'all can try and correct me in the comment section, I don't know, but from my perspective, I feel like Jeffree Star's basically saying that what Tati has said about him is completely falsified and that his people are involved, and that if she really wants to go there, he's finna go there too. He is really making sure that his stance is known from the outset of all of this. And even Tati said in her last video that she wasn't in the process of doing it now, but she has been advised by her attorneys that she is still within the statute of limitations, and if she wanted to take it there, she could. I'd love to see this all play out in court, because right now, I don't even know who's lying.
I am still well within the statute of limitations for bringing a civil action to seek recovery for my damages. Should I proceed with this course of actions? My attorneys will be deposing all witnesses who have information about the truth of what happened here. So for everyone else whose hands are dirty, that have not yet come forward, be careful of your allegiance You don't want to be on the wrong side of the truth?
Jeffree then basically said that his absence from social media and his silence on the entire situation actually had nothing to do with Shane Dawson, and that him and Shane Dawson still remain friends and have a good relationship, and that he supports him until the end. But the issue is that he needed to sort his own shenanigans out, and it had nothing to do with Shane Dawson.
Now, Shane Dawson. He is one of my best friends and someone who helped me remember who I am when I was starting to crack and lose focus of who I really was. He is genuine, amazing, he is selfless, and he is one of the most kind people that I've ever met in my entire world. I know that Shane would put his family and friends before himself in a flash. Now, did Shane and I get caught up in the drama and do some dumb shit? Of course we did. But that is my best friend, and I was actually truly shocked that people thought that I was going to distance myself from him or that my silence was anything but support.
Jeffree goes on to say that he only knows the Shane of today, the Shane from now, and that yes, he's aware that Shane has a past, but so does he, so he's got no room to talk, which honestly, yeah, he doesn't have any room to talk.
I know Shane from now. I don't know Shane from 10 years ago, and he doesn't know me from 10 years ago. Now, do I agree with Shane's past actions? Of course I don't. And does he agree with my past behavior? Of course he doesn't. I know the amazing person that he is today.
Okay, so then Jeffree goes to talk about his brand, which is to be expected because whenever these kind of one-shot, kill-shot videos are out here, for some reason everybody just likes to talk about their brand and get that sweet little plug-in, that sweet little extra amount of traffic on their website. I don't understand why we can't just keep the brands out of this, because honestly, genuinely, this has nothing to do with anybody's brands, and that's on period. Anyway, but here is the first part where Jeffree Star actually makes a major blunder. He speaks about his makeup being inclusive, which if you've seen my review of Jeffree Star times Shane Dawson collection, I don't truly believe it's inclusive. There's a lot of things that seriously weren't there for me. I would say the majority of the palette did not suit my particular skin tone, that's for sure, as well as the lip colors that also did not suit my particular skin tone at all. But that's just my humble opinion. However, he talks about inclusivity, and then that's where he says all beauty matters. It's not something that I feel like was supposed to be dismissive or degrading with intent, but a big major yikes, and something that he definitely should have edited out, because now people are going to be looking at him funny, especially for what he's about to say after this.
All right, now, no matter what narrative anyone tries to spin of me, I am so proud to own an inclusive makeup company. Since I opened my doors in 2014, I have created products for everyone. Any product, shade, or formula I've created has worked for any race, gender, and most importantly, I want you guys to remember that all beauty matters. And from the very first ad of my company, I have always shown people of color and anyone, no matter what size your body are or what gender you are accepted in Jeffree Star Cosmetics.
Yeah, a big major yikes. But then he goes on to speak about the Black Lives Matter movement and people such as Breonna Taylor, etc., etc. Take a listen to what it is that he has to say, and I'm going to come back with my thoughts.
Now, Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Black trans women are being murdered every day and the news is silent. Elijah McClain has no justice, and the countless other people who are murdered every single day while everyone just goes about their business like nothing's happening.
Now, a lot of people are upset about him speaking about some people who haven't had justice, who the Black Lives Matter movement has been pioneering for ever since the situation that happened with the late great George Floyd. However, I kind of have more of an issue with him speaking around this situation purely because of his All Beauty Matters slogan that he used that pretty much mimicked the Black Lives Matter movement, and I don't know, so if it just doesn't sit right with me with that. I don't think it's intentional, but just something he definitely should have reflected on before uploading this video for sure. However, there is a lot of people who are upset about him purely using the Black Lives Matter situation in order to make himself look or reflect in a positive light. And I have to say, there is a massive part of me that wants to sit here and say, I'm with you on that, but it's hard for me to be with you on that, because we need to keep the same energy, let's just be honest. One of the major things that was echoed through Shane Dawson's apology, as well as in Tati Westbrook's video addressing the situation and breaking her silence, was that a lot of people felt like they have a platform, a massive platform, and they should be utilizing their huge platforms in order to talk about current situations, especially if they've been silent on those situations. For instance, Tati Westbrook went out of her way to post 4 different videos on Twitter which were supposed to allude to what's coming up in the recent video she made, but had absolutely no time to call for justice for Breonna Taylor or any of the other aforementioned people who still haven't had justice. So my thing is if we are really asking white creators to use their allyship, to use their voices to amplify global matters and global situations pertaining to Black Lives Matter, why is it okay for some people to talk about it and not for Jeffree Star to talk about it? I understand that his voice is not the best ally voice that we can possibly have, but his influence and his power over the industry is certainly unmatched at this point. That's just my opinions on what it is that he said, but obviously you are more than free and more than welcome to leave your opinions in the comment section down below. Personally, I don't really have any thoughts on this video. I feel like it was a massive cop-out. I feel like there was absolutely no need for him to speak, and if he wanted to disappear and be the billionaire tycoon or millionaire tycoon that he is, he could have quite easily have done that. There was some inconsistencies with some of the things it is that he said in this video that I will be addressing in a separate video, just because we are still getting the information all together on my side. But it does look like Tati Westbrook definitely had her war armor on, and so does Jeffree Star, which means that there could be a suit in the future, and if there is, that means it's going to be extremely difficult for both parties to keep information out of the media, the new media, the social media.
On the advice of my attorneys, I cannot share with all of you right now the evidence that we have accumulated of the events that have occurred. However, there will soon come a day where we will be able to present this evidence, and you will be able to see why it is we believe that Jeffree and Shane are responsible for so much of the damage that has been caused.
But that's just my thoughts on the whole entire situation. Tell me what it is that you guys think in the comment section down below. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can keep updated with the Petty Paige channel, as well as following me on Twitch. That's www.twitch.tv/PaigeChristieUK, and that is where you can find me doing my commentary uncensored. And until next time, guys, it's been Paige.